Status quo today. Nothing happened. That's about let's just say it's the 88th time that we've come upon a date that we were high on, and yeah, nothing happened. So you just keep moving on. It's like a head coach, man, where they won't fire the coach and they just keep looking for that first victory. LOL. Um, One thing I started thinking of, that there were 19 men involved in September 11th, and the illness was called 19, COVID, 19. So the 19th of any date is big, but January 19th, again, is 119 for Donald in Jewish gematria. Donald means the boss of the world. Mafia Don's the boss. And of course, when you watch Trump in his show, which I was a gigantic Trump fan, I watched every episode of The Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice, thanks to the DVR. I never missed one of his shows. Like, I never missed one of his shows. And him rising 2 days later on January 21st is 121 coded. But we got to keep focus on the midpoint. And one reason I really liked, there were the two main reasons I liked the fifth was rising on the 7th, because it was 117, Revelation 117, Revelation 11:7, rising out of the pit. The 7th on a full moon, it was 117 days from when Sirius the dog star rose, which was also the midpoint of 4 total eclipses, 2 total lunars, 2 total solars, 88 days, both directions for the total solars. For the total lunars. And one of those occurred on 88, November 8th. And 251 days in both directions of the total solars. And so what if it's just 119 days away from when Sirius rose, which would put us on December 9th. It's a Friday, the day Jesus died. Would they do that? Go down the same day Jesus died, rise on the same day that Jesus rose, Friday to Sunday? Would you put that by them? What's 86 plus 86? 172. It's 17 weeks, 2 days for 172 coding. It's 3 months, 29 days. Somebody just did a video featuring 329. They were featuring March 29th. I cannot remember who it was. Shaking My Head Productions or somebody had something to that effect. I don't think it was We Seek and We Find. Now, Angel White has some pretty amazing videos up. Now, I just did one about, now the future Antichrist is at war with the United States Constitution. They're setting up the motive for the Deadly Wound event. But the 19, if he was to go down on the 19th, because the 19th has to be looked at in every month, but like we said, we really like the 19th of January, but what about the 19th of December? And wait till you see the other items I got for you. Trump gave Pope the Lotus. 19th's not big, but I want you to look at what we were talking about as far as the 9th. Get Out, release date. Because when he goes down, that's your signal to get out. Because in 2 days, the book of Revelation's opened. The war, the famine, the death, the earthquakes, the tsunamis. And it is also the December 4th, 2021 total solar eclipse. 37-day progression. How about I Pick Goat YouTube date of July 3rd, 2012? See, they had an official release date for it on their website, but then they had a YouTube site on their own YouTube site. They posted it later. So it was like a video on their website, but then it became a YouTube video at their website on July 3rd. And the Spectre release date. If you include both dates, because anything on the 10th, if you include both dates, the 10th would fall on the 9th if you include the start date. Then you back the 10th up to the 9th to keep the 37-day progressions. You get two different 2020 penumbral lunar eclipses. Pistol, Pete Maravich, Their Satanic Majesty's Request, which was a Rolling Stones album, literally, Their Satanic Majesty's Request. That progression of that. Skyfall, Take the Bloody Shot, opening scene, where he dies and has the right eye wound. He gets resurrected by the Yoni in the opening credits with Adele's Skyfall that won the Oscar. Apocalypto, get it? Apocalypse, release date. Def Leppard's Hysteria. January 6, 2021, that big day. Trading Places release date. Remember when we did that and we showed them walking by the Twin Towers and just making the crazy comments while they were walking at the base of the Twin Towers and what they were saying. I cannot remember it, but it was insane. Predictive programming. World War Z. Now, the Rising Day, what's so fascinating? Now, first of all, if it's 12/11, that's 121 with another one. That's a 12 and then an 11. So it's a 1, 2, 1, 1 on the date. So 121 is coded for Antichrist in simple gematria or English ordinal. But One World Trade Tower opening date, which is the Antichrist rising. See, the twin Trumps went down and the Antichrist rose. That's what the One World Trade Tower was all about. TV show called The Undoing. Release dates, 37-day progression. Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, Tippy Herndon of the Byrds, and Marnie with Sean Connery. Mystic Pizza release date, October 21st, 1988. So it was released in October of 1988, the Donnie Darko month. And the Soleimani death, which that whole deal with Trump and Soleimani. And the death threats and all that. If you include both dates, you get, for the rising day of the 11th, the total solar eclipse of June 21st, 2001. The total solar eclipse right at the summer solstice, June 21st. Total solar eclipse on June 21st of that fateful year, 2001. What lands on the rising day if you include both dates? Mustang car release date, 4/17/1964. And the horses would run. The white horse. Donnie Darko, there you go. Director's cut, Seattle, 5/29/2004. Barbara Felton, Agent 99. The teammate of Agent 86. Her birthday progression. Olympus Has Fallen, USA release date on 3/22. Hello. And Tesla company opens shop. So just this coming Friday, things just absolutely open up. From Sirius the Dog Star Rising and the midpoint of 2 total lunars and 2 total solars, all on August 12th. All of that occurred on August 12th. No YouTube channel, internet site, nobody had that, except the Lord gave it to us. It will be 119 days on the 9th. in 121 on the 11th, where the date also features a 121. There's just a lot to it. Angel White YouTube video. Alan Flint liked it. That's cool. And he liked that too. Angel White did a breakfast in America. And do you notice the backwards 9/11? Well, he's going to show it to you. Notice the orange juice for the orange Trump, and she's wearing orange, and orange comes to 33 in I think it's Chaldean gematria, one of them, which is why, orange is featured with the color blue for the Gators. Blue is the color of, their building they meet in. And you had Clemson with the orange. Now get this. Clemson Tigers are playing, I believe it's the Tennessee Volunteers in the Orange Bowl. In other words, orange and orange are playing in the Orange Bowl. In Angel White's little short video, it said a view of Manhattan through an aeroplane window. And of course, what hit the twin Trumps? What hit Donnie Darko? And who was playing the right eye wound Raiders on 11/17 for Zachariah 11/17 during the Heidi game when they interrupted the football game to put on the TV show Heidi. And I already showed y'all the marquee, the movie marquee. And Groundhog Day, it said Heidi 2 on the marquee. So then what Angel White did was flip around, because it's a artificial intelligent YouTube site. And so it's just, they have exposed Trump as the Antichrist because they put the truth in plain sight for you, knowing that 99.9% of the people will not believe it anyway. But you see the 9/11 when you reverse it. So what are you going to do, right? Yeah, it's Tennessee and Clemson. Both orange teams in the Orange Bowl. Be on December 30th. So what do you think? That'd be a great day for him to go down. Don't you think? Moving forward, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult for me to zero in on just one date. Like today, I was very zeroed in on this date. But before I got to it, the other dates started popping up. And that always happens. I don't know why that is. Right before I get to a date that I'm really big on, or that our whole contributor was really big on, I would just start to look at other dates. And it hasn't happened yet. So, and like our old contributor said, when he wished us well, he said, it's undiscernible. And we just do it for a hobby, but he was putting so much time and effort into the research, and he had a wife and 3 kids. So, totally understandable. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Let's get to the next Angel White video. And what he shows you is when you flip the Mona Lisa, the eye, this eye will be exactly where the other eye is. and I can't really, hang on. You can tell it's an AI site the way it just does all that. I mean, in the AI site, Angel White YouTube came on my YouTube channel and started land basting me about the doctrine of free will in John 3:16. Just going nuts. And then erased everything. Erased all the comments. It's an AI site. Yes, it's very weird to have a demon in the technology come calling. But, you know, what are you going to do? But it was pretty interesting. But we're just going to keep looking at these numbers until something pops. How old would Trump be on this day, on the rising day? Because we know he is in Daniel 9:27 days old. Be 27939, 76,527, 67,053, 6 in the hours. Well, you do have your 91727. The length of IPEC goat is 727. Yeah, it is what it is. You'd be going down on 27937. What else? Does anybody have any comments? Hang on, let's check. No, but I do have comments from somebody who commented, and I went ahead and just commented myself, but we can go to the video. It's an 8-day-old video. And Mark Allen King, Lions of Israel, said December 7th is the birth date of King David Reborn, who is already on the earth plane. And I said, not sure I follow, sorry. And he said the database is telling the new biblical story in real time. So it's just over my head. I don't understand it. And we appreciate you being here. Mark Allen King, Lions of Israel. Do you put out videos? Let's see. He's got 275 subscribers. Wow. I just don't know. I don't know what to say, but okay. Glad you're subscribing to this channel. So we're just glad you're here. That's pretty much what we're looking at. I mean, he could go down on the full moon on December 7th, the date that will live in infamy. It's a loaded up day. Good grief, it's loaded. The 7th and the 8th combined are just like the biggest day of the year. And there's another big day in Tan. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. The biggest one is December 20th for me, because that's the 9/11 event and my Groundhog Day divorce date. The 20th is the biggest day as far as quality of items shot, heard around the world. Who shot JR? Frank shot in right eye, the actual 9/11 event itself on its 37 progression. 37 is the 12th prime number, and it divides into 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, 666, 777, 888. Now, I will say something else about Trump rising on December 11th. December is the 10th month. Decameter, decade. And if you look up Donald John Trump, it does come to the 11th day of the 10th month in what this site calls English gematria. It's 6 times simple gematria, or 6 times English ordinal. So the D for Donald, which is, the D is the 4th letter, well, times 6 becomes the 24th letter. That's all it does, is multiply simple gematria or English ordinal. This site calls it English gematria. Purposed for a reason. I think all of these are AI sites, AI created, AI run, that they run their certain, that they will search items enough times, acting like people, to push certain items, as if it's, because see, the more they've been searched, the more on page 1 they are, or page 2, more up to the front. So, and the funny part about that is 185 is the simple gematria of this 1110 Donald John Trump. And 185 is the 5th progression of 37. So it's interesting, again, because that date of December 11th is 121 days. Well, we might as well do it since we're here. Antichrist comes to 121. And 121 days from when Sirius the Dog Star rose, and all on August 12th, the midpoint of 2 total lunars and 2 total solars. Now, key in Donald, which means boss. In Jewish gematria, it is 119. And Donnie Darko was released on January 19th for that reason. So the 2 numbers that rep Trump are 119 Donald and 88 for Trump. We've told you many times that 88 plus 119 is 207, which was my first apartment number, 207J. The last time I lived in this town. I've only lived in this town twice. And it was always with apartment or condo numbers. It was an apartment then, it's a condo now. Right around the lake from each other. Like, I can see where I used to live. So, very interesting to me. God. What else? That's about it. All right, love y'all.